Hey, listeners, have you ever wondered what you're missing on the Patreon?
Let us ask you these questions. Do you like the prefix? There's an extended version of it every week on the Patreon called the a la carte.
Do you miss your favorite dead celebrities? We have a medium who comes on to talk to them on the Patreon.
Are you an astrology buff? We have an astrologer who comes to the Patreon to read the celebrity stars.
Do you want to hear what we edit out of the podcast? Then you can listen to our cutting room floor episodes on the Patreon.
Do you ever wish we could fix you? Then listen to our all-tier advice episodes right now on the Patreon.
And if you ever want to kiki with other listeners of this pod, come to one of our hilarious live Zoom spectaculars.
Still not convinced? No problem. Head on over to patreon.com/fixingfamouspeople to listen to an example episode of each of these, absolutely free. See you on Patreon.
Where's Shelley?
This message comes from Greenlight. Ready to start talking to your kids about financial literacy? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app that teaches kids and teens how to earn, save, spend wisely, and invest with your guardrails in place. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on your kids' spending with real-time notifications. Join millions of parents and kids building healthy financial habits together on Greenlight. Get started risk-free at greenlight.com/Wondery.
This is Fixing Famous People, the podcast where two reality television producers pitch solutions to save celebrities in dire straits.
But first, let's get to the prefix, your weekly pop culture roundup.
Listeners, happy Pride Month. It's our
Happy Pride.
It's the first FFP of Pride 25, baby. And you know what? All the corporate sponsors are turning their backs on you, but not fixing famous
We're
people. Not fixing famous people. You want to know why? Because this is a fag-owned and operated enterprise, baby.
A business, as they say.
All the pride, all the shame, all of it. Thank you for coming here every Wednesday. In celebration, I have, of course, changed my wallpaper. This year, my Pride wallpaper will be Bad Bunny in his underwear. Thank you.
Dear God
or should I say, gracias.
Adios, as they say, Dominic.
Oh, she's hot.
Oh,
So,
God.
folks, we did promise you on the internet this week. Christopher and I were having an argument at the duplex last week about our thoughts on Patti LuPone and her latest controversy, Patricia Louise LuPone. We were putting together an emergency episode. We are tabling that because for the first time, I mean, I would want to talk to her family about this, but I don't believe she even apologizes as a child.
No.
Issues a digital written apology to the world, specifically Keisha Lewis and Audra McDonald. And after reading the apology, Christopher and I both thought, okay, she's on the red carpet right now, but here's the rub. The Tonys are in 4 days.
Listen, we push every week that the Goop trial was going on. I bring it back to this all the time. You were like, we have to do it this
I
week.
was
like, no,
salivating.
because then I was like, I am chomping at the bit as well, but like, then something's going to happen the next day. And then it's like not funny anymore that whatever we did was outdated.
Right.
So we have
that's
to wait.
why I do that, because I don't want my good jokes to go away. And then when other people beat me to it on the internet,
you'll be upset.
I drink. No, I actually don't, but I'm just like, ah. So we're going to wait and see what happens at the Tonys. Is Patti going to go? And if she does, what's the reaction going to be? And if she doesn't go, how many motherfuckers are going to get up there and, you know, praise Keisha and Audra and say shit about Patti? Who knows? So if we feel after Sunday that Patti needs fixing, we will come back and do that. But let's talk about Patti now. I mean, her apology was...
We will.
Yeah, we probably will.
Her apology was written by somebody else. Yeah.
Sure, but it was... I felt like it was as in her voice as a supposed Patti apology could be. I know you do not agree with this at all. I believe her apology, and I believe she's giving it through gritted teeth, but I believe it. I believe.
Oh, yeah. No.
Yeah.
I feel like she did a comedic joke that went awry, is what I think. And we'll get it, you know, I don't want to talk too much about it, of like the whole nuts and bolts of it, but she was giving, it's what I said last week, like she's doing like the Donald Trump stuff that she was doing now to like other people in theater, and it's like not as funny. She's
always been that way, but she did it at the wrong place at the wrong time. And I do think a lot was misconstrued. Like she started this, she's always been ballsy this way, but then her book came out 10 years ago and it was like, you know, she sort of swiped at a lot of
like
maybe,
Andrew Lloyd Webber should like fall on a sword and die and I hate him. And
But you know, it's like the Andrew Lloyd Webber fan base, they're not like Gaga's fan base. You know what I mean? They're not going to come at her the way that these people did.
It's like you can't have that amount of rage for like someone that you got in like a tiff with on the internet like, versus someone who like pulled a role out from under you and like gave it to someone else and it like set back your career.
I know why she's mad, and I know we're going to discuss it when we discuss her.
Yeah.
And I know there's a bigger discussion coming about it, but the bottom line is that when Patti LuPone said that Hell's Kitchen was too loud, she was trying to handle it privately. She handled it with the stage manager. She was appreciative. She sent the stage manager flowers. But when the cast found out about the request, they were pissed, specifically Keisha Lewis. And she did no judgments on going public or whatever. But you know what? Patti, she used the word microaggression and took everything to a way different level. I'm not even here. It's not my responsibility to say whether or not her behavior was microaggressive, but it took it to a different level. And Patti then shot it, to use your word, way into the stratosphere with this interview. Like she should have just
shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And also too, it's like Patti doesn't need to be the person telling them. At the end of the day, Patti doesn't need to be involved in the original sin of this. Patti should have been like, hey, stage manager, go tell them that we hear it. And it's like, when they're doing their like biggest, loudest number, I'm doing my most solemn thing on the stage that's like me by myself contemplating my life. And we hear it and it like throws off the audience. That has nothing to do with Patti. It has nothing to do with anything. It has to do with like technical issues between the two shows. And she doesn't need to be sending flowers or writing a note. Like it doesn't even need to be coming from her. It needs to be coming from a scientist versus a scientist. Does that make sense? Like
it
an
does.
audio person versus an audio person. But instead she inserted herself and then that's what happened.
Right. Remember last week you told me I need to let Britney live because Britney has earned smoking on a private plane and Britney can do whatever the fuck she wants. You know what, Christopher and Planet Earth? Let Patti LuPone live. Let her. She's a 76-year-old temper tantrum throwing, 3-time Tony winning diva lunatic. We already knew it. We already knew it. Now listen, if it was the Music Man playing next door, would Patti have screamed about it? And would we be talking about microaggressions? I don't know. But the opposite of the way to solve that is by then going to a magazine, whatever the fuck that is, and calling the person who came for you a bitch. And then somehow who's
like having her best moment that she's ever had in her life right now at this very moment.
And to say is adored would be an absolute understatement. Her acceptance speech last year was one of the highlights of the Tony Awards, where she's reading the speech from her phone and Keisha Lewis is going, everybody, please stop texting me. I know I won. I got to give my speech. You're using up my phone. But then to drag the winningest, maybe most beloved Broadway performer of this or any time into it with Audra McDonald, that is when, you know, even someone like Patti LuPone should just keep their mouth shut. But this is my thing, Chris. Honest to God, I want to say this to all celebrities. Magazines are dying anyway, so this may not be an issue for much longer. Never, ever do a magazine piece. Don't do it. If someone needs to spend a week with you to sort of dig in, they are never going to write 20 pages without some sort of scandal that's going to
they're going to be like, here's all the horrible things that I saw her do in a week.
And that's the thing. It's like, for this, you know, let's do a piece about Patti LuPone. Great. Why the fuck do you need to go to the Rangers game with the reporter from the New Yorker? Why do you need to eat a meal?
Is that where they
with these
went?
Yes.
Patti LuPone went to a Rangers game, is what you're saying to me.
Well, this article revealed that she's a huge Rangers fan, and she was friends with Ron Duguay. She's friends with the guy that's with Sarah Palin right now. Duguay, is that his name? Duguay
I have
Pride?
no idea. Sure. Duguay
Sarah
Pride.
Palin
He would be with
dating a
Sarah
former
Palin, by the
Ranger,
way.
And, yes. And you know, and that's where it comes out. So they bring this up. They bring this up in the article. Well, they bring up the article, and then of course she calls Keisha Lewis a bitch in this article, which was way out of left field and way out of line. Like she shouldn't have done it. But then the magazine reporter does what magazine reporters do and is like, is that blood in the water? Well, Patty, Audra McDonald liked Keisha Lewis's post, and then she goes up on Audra McDonald, and it's like, why are you doing this to Patti LuPone? And Patti LuPone, why are you doing this to yourself? Like, she's too smart for this to have happened to her. And I think too genuinely a lover of the theater for this to happen.
We laughed so hard when she was biting that wing and was making fun of Madonna, but that's Madonna. That's one of the biggest pop stars to ever exist and will ever exist. That's not this person who's technically less famous than Keisha Lewis, 100% way less famous than you. And Audra McDonald definitely also way less famous than you. That's they're both having these incredible times right now in their lives and their careers. And they should be celebrated. And you're doing to them what you did to Madonna and Donald Trump.
Yep.
That's the problem.
I want to say this to all specifically theater, not just specifically theater schools, but to all universities across the world. After this controversy happened, after this magazine article came out, Audra McDonald appeared on CBS Mornings and was interviewed by Gayle King. Ostensibly, this interview was already in the books because she was going to be talking about the Tony Awards airing on CBS this Sunday. But naturally, Gayle brings this up, and Gayle says, I'm not trying to cause a Broadway dust up.
Yeah.
Okay, Space Lady.
Yeah.
You're not? Okay, sure. I need all universities on the planet to do is have Audra McDonald's response to this appear on the final exam for whatever subject you're teaching in school, because it is a master class. It is charm
Mariah
school
Carey,
level.
I don't know her.
It is it is the most delicious piece of cake you will see on television this year. Audra McDonald was already a goddess, but cemented her status as such by responding, I just do not know what the Rift Patty is talking about is. You have to ask her. I haven't seen her in 11 years. But the smile on her face, her gait, every single thing about it was
incredible.
Audra McDonald teaching a class of, this is how you end shit with something like this.
Yeah, period.
And it was a wrap.
Yeah.
And Audra McDonald, I'm going to say because of her interview with Gayle King, I now want Audra to beat Pussycat Boulevard for Best Actress this weekend at the Tonys.
Agreed.
Because I think her performance on the CBS Mornings interview was better than her and Nicole Scherzinger tied together, acting out the Siamese twins in Sideshow. I don't even care.
No, Audra literally did the Mariah Carey, I don't know her. Really did that. And it's fuck. The shadiest moment of pop culture up until now. You know what I mean? Truly.
When I tell you that for my holiday show, I would every week we do this podcast and I keep a running list of the
things that will go in your holiday show.
Audra's interview is at the top of the list. Several spaces above Patty's apology. The story of the year is Audra McDonald giving a masterclass in that interview.
P.S. Every time I say, I don't want to do this, but I 100%, every time I've been interviewing someone and said, I don't mean to bring this up, but let's talk about blank, that, I'm 100% meaning to bring that up. Just FYI. You got her, Space Lady.
By the way, Space Lady, you and the Powerpuff Girls are number 2 on the list, by the way. Right under Audra Gayle King. Happy Pride.
Oh, God.
I don't want to cause a Broadway dust up. I'm going to use that line when I'm trying not to have an argument with you.
Yeah, we're, Dominic, we will be lobbing that back and forth like a volleyball with each other for the next.
I'm not trying to cause a Broadway
dust up. But Dominic, let me tell you about the most triggering thing that you've ever been through. Can we talk about it?
Gayle, a brilliant use of the phrase dust up doesn't get used enough. There was so much engagement with us about this online this week. And there was also so much engagement from people who were like, why is anyone discussing this? There are more important things going on in the world. To which I say, what, the Knicks game? Get the fuck out of here. No, there's not.
Yeah,
no, there's not. Not to me. Beat it. Not to Chris DeRosa. Get out.
Also, you can say that about anything ever.
Yeah.
Why listen to this podcast? There's more important things going on in the world because I like it.
Seriously. I could tell you the most important thing that we'll discuss on this podcast is still probably among the least important 1% of all things actually happening on the planet.
Yes.
Right?
100 million
That's not what
percent.
this podcast is for. How dare
correct.
you? Speaking of how dare you and listener engagement, last week we talked about Britney Spears smoking on an airplane. And when I tell you that I have been basically shamed by the listenership of this podcast, who at a rate of maybe 70 to 30 are siding with Christopher.
Team Brittany, baby.
DMing me the nastiest shit about my age and my face and my values.
No, really?
I might have made the face stuff up just because I want people to look at it.
Listen,
overwhelmingly, people support.
Let Brittany smoke a cigarette, and I feel good that I'm not alone in feeling this way about Brittany.
Right, because as I said on Instagram this week, all of you quote unquote fans want her to die so you can hang her on a cross and worship her and wear black lacy funeral clothes for the rest of your life.
You're wrong, Dominic. I want her to live. We want her to live, I think was my comment back. I love when we get in fights on our own Instagrams. It's honestly my favorite thing to do with you is fight with you via text. Like, it's the best thing ever. Like at one point, I'm not going to say what, but at one point we were talking with Aaron about like people we were going to talk about with on Fixing Dead People. And we brought up someone and Dominic was like, here's all the reasons like why we shouldn't do this person. But like, if you think that it would do it, go ahead or something like that. I wrote, why are you yelling at me? I know, but it was just funny. And you were like, I'm not yelling. And I was like, I know, I'm joking.
You really did. And I called you. I felt so bad about it. I was like,
I'm joking with you.
I was really upset for like a half second. Now,
oh God, it's so fun.
If this had happened now, if that argument I had with you had happened now, all I would have texted was, I'm not trying to cause a Broadway
dust up.
But speaking of dust up, we haven't done the Britney Watch theme. We have to do it.
We haven't. Britney Watch.
Oh, it felt good. I haven't done that in
months.
It's
been so long since we said that.
Well, given our argument last week, Christopher has a major announcement.
I have a major announcement. And that announcement is that obviously Britney, because people are coming for her in the sky, you know, that bitch ass flight attendant that I better hope never find out who that is. Fucking bitch. Anyway, because people are coming for Britney, I thought that we should put back on sale the Hey Y'all prayer candle. And so that right now is available on waxcabincandleco.com. We'll put it on our Instagram story. I'll do a prayer of me at noon lighting the candle with Britney. You know, we'll do a whole thing. But I'll put all the links everywhere. And because we're bringing the Hey Y'all candle back out, the prayer candle, I was like, let's also just put the Clitorally candle back up there just to do it. And I feel like we have a lot of new listeners that don't even know what the Clitorally candle is or why we say Clitorally. And this is your chance to learn. So I feel like if you want merch, we have more merch coming this summer, by the way. But
for you new listeners, the long and the short of it is that someone wrote in and said that Chris was using the word literally too much on the podcast.
Which was true.
Right. So now instead of literally, we just say clitorally.
And that's become the tagline. It's become the guiding force of this show, sadly, is what it is.
It's changed our listeners to clisteners. And I mean, if you had told me when I was a closeted gay child that I would grow up and correspond with strangers on a daily basis who use the word clit with me like 30 to 40 times a day, separate people, I would have said that tracks, probably. That's my goal, actually.
Which then we would then make a candle that is supposed to be a parody of the vagina candle. Gwyneth Paltrow's vagina candle.
That part I would not have predicted. That part I would have been like,
4 different candles, that 2 of which are about a woman's vagina. Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ. By the way, reminder, we have to put Broadway Dust Up.
Okay, putting it in.
Broadway Dust Up. What do we call the
Broadway
book?
Dust Up. The glossary of terms.
The glossary of terms. Why don't we call it the Clictionary?
Someone the other day was like, why is Lana Del Research not in the glossary of terms? And I was like, oh my God. Yeah.
We should also consider renaming it the Clictionary.
Oh.
Maybe.
I love that. Okay. Well, let me think about it.
All
but
right.
I do. Clictionary is click.
It's a tough one. We'll smooth it out.
We'll smooth it out.
Thank you for coming to our development meeting. What you have just listened to is the exact conversation Chris and I have every day about what terms to put in our dictionary. This is it. This is what in these parts we call that a business meeting, what you just listened to.
Yeah. But waxcabincandleco.com or just search Clitorally Fixing Famous People Candles and they'll come right up.
You'll find
them. Google is your best friend, but we'll be tagging them and we'll be putting them all over Instagram.
And go to our Instas. It'll be in my link tree. Chris, do you have a link tree on your Insta? Or we'll put them in our bios.
It'll be on my Comey. Yeah.
Ooh, okay. That means I'm going to probably have a Comey Plus. I'll get the better version of whatever Chris has.
Well, I actually do pay for mine. So
I won't do that. I won't do that. Speaking of business and business deals, what a big week in Swiftie City, because Taylor Swift.
Oh my God. This is feels like it was a lifetime ago.
Taylor Swift bought back her shit. And to demonstrate how I personally am cynical and think differently than the Swiftie fan base. I don't consider myself a Swiftie, but I don't dislike Taylor Swift. I'm just not like a stan or whatever you would call them. My first thought when she bought back her masters was, if I'm a person that spent any money on the Taylor's version of anything, I'm class actioning this.
Well, it's giving good night and good luck on CNN. Yeah,
it's unbelievable. That is a brilliant comparison. It's the same thing. It's but you can't get them back. I already spent money on the new shit. I pushed you over the $1 billion mark. I was part of that group of people that rebought all this stuff. But I go to Twitter. There are videos of people crying. I'm so happy for her.
Well, it
is monumental.
Yeah. And it's also I get it. It is good. She shouldn't have to have made all the Taylor's versions of it. And that's the point.
I bet she's going to come up with something. She's going to do some sort of fan-based, I don't know what it is, but there's no way that she's overlooking that. Her head's not there now because she's tried for 6 years to do this. It's either going to be a free album or she's going to do something, because she knows how much money these millions and millions of people have spent on the Taylor's version stuff. She's going to do something for sure.
Oh, a free album would be really
I bet
good.
She will.
Because she's I don't even need the money from this anymore. I'm just going to do it because that's the ultimate swerve. You know what I mean?
It'll be like what she'll call Apple or Spotify, and she'll just say, give this to everybody.
Put this on everyone's phone. Yeah, for free. Now. You know what I mean? Like Hank Spotify, whoever the fuck runs Spotify.
Hank Spotify? Was that his name?
Hank Spotify. Listen, you little fuck. You know what I mean? And just she berates him on the phone. And he's like, whatever you say. And then hangs up the phone and immediately.
But what is there? Do people pay for music still? I'm actually unsure about it.
Well, you pay for your Spotify.
Yeah.
Or Apple Music Plus or whatever.
Yeah.
It's you can't just stream all this for free. You have to pay monthly for it. So it's and also the Swifties do, because they buy all the exclusive things that are at Target and the vinyls and the blah, blah. That's a huge collector item part of the whole thing too now. So it's they really do spend money on music now again, more than they did 10 years ago. You know, the other thing that's like this, Hassan talks about it all the time. Concerts now, obviously, there's all the Ticketmaster, blah, blah, blah. But they'll do 3 nights somewhere and you'll fight tooth and nail and spend a lot of money to get money for the concert. And then they're oh, we did so well that we're just going to put 3 more shows up. And you're I just spent $400 on this ticket. And now there's double the amount of tickets. And so the other, then people that weren't trying so hard, got now buy them for $200 and get better seats than I did. You know what I mean? Which I do agree is really fucked up. And your loyal fans are getting the shaft.
But I remember the rage. My best friend's ex-husband got to see the last night of Cher's farewell tour. She went on a farewell tour, literally 20 years ago at this point.
Yeah, truly. I was at 10. This is I have to believe.
Paid out the ass for it, brought his sister. And then, she makes her her umpteenth comeback. And he was I want my $2,000 back.
Yeah, I spent a down payment on a house on thinking that this is the last time she was going to ever walk on
I went to the last show because I thought it was the last show ever. And all the merch, that you bought at it, once she comes back, the value of all that stuff just goes down.
It's gone. Yeah, it's done. No, because it doesn't matter anymore. Well, that's just I saw Elton John in college and it was his farewell tour. Right? That was 20 something years ago now, right? No, maybe not.
And he just wrapped it up.
No. 15 years ago at least. And that was when I graduated college. So it's before that. So it over 15 years ago. He's just now being I'm done. And it's that was half of my life ago.
That's so funny. But by the way, speaking of, I don't know if this is a business move. It's definitely a ballsy move. And actually a pretty big story. Blake Lively, seemingly in an effort to not reveal her mental health records, has dropped major claims that Justin Baldoni caused her emotional distress while they were working on it ends with us. And right before we record the prefix on Tuesday late afternoon, and right before this, I got an alert on my phone that the judge basically said to Blake, like, you cannot refile these once they're gone. And
yeah,
so,
like if you bring this off the table, like it's done. Like you then are saying that this didn't happen.
You know, it's the emotional distress portion of this lawsuit that has been the most damaging to both of them, specifically Justin Baldoni. I mean, it's like, it's her making the most horrible accusations of the lawsuit and then saying, never mind, I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
and
like actually that didn't happen to me. Yeah.
Yeah. And obviously she's going to come forth and say, no, it did happen, but because I had to violate my privacy in order to prove it, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So...
Which is fair. Like, it's like, she's like, well, you know what, though? It's also because Taylor Swift, speaking of, was probably like, listen, you little fuck.
Oh, 100%.
Like, I will fucking end you, which she should, by the way. Like, I'm on Taylor's side here. Like, she was probably like, I swear to you, if I have to fucking show up on that stand, you're done for.
They're
like,
not.
You and your little bitch-ass husband are never, ever going to work in this town again.
And then
she was like, yeah. And she's like, okay. And then was just like, you know what I mean? Because Taylor was like, I will end your career, which she probably could. And I would be on Taylor's side.
Oh, there's no doubt that she could end it. But Taylor Swift is definitely more powerful than Ryan Reynolds. I will say that officially. So anyway, congratulations, Justin Baldoni. I do not think his legal team is just going to be like, this is great, we dodged a bullet. I think they're going to come after her in another way.
Well, it gives them a lot more stuff to like argue against because they're like, oh, she just like decided to not bring this charge anymore. Oh, I wonder why. You know what I mean? It's like, it looks bad on her part, but she has to really have like an ironclad, like, here's why.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which she might, but we just don't. I just read the headline, so I literally don't know.
We've done 2 Patreon episodes about it, right? About for the early stages. And
it's just too much.
It was too much, but then for them to deliberately make this big of a story, because it was theater, like her filing this shit on New Year's Eve. I mean, we'll never forget that. Yeah. So that's a big story, which I feel is not over yet. I think his legal team's going to be like, you've
Dominick,
destroyed us by filing this, and you got to pay for it.
God, no. It's nowhere near over.
So the other story, the other big celebrity real life news story this week is that Todd and Julie Chrisley of Chrisley's Knows It Knows Best have been pardoned by Donald Trump. They were in jail. They were supposed to be in jail for several more years on tax and fraud charges. And I don't know how the information got to Donald Trump, because he does not seem in his statement to know. He has said to Savannah Chrisley on the phone, according to her, he actually said this to the press as well, that it seemed like they got railroaded, in effect. Like, it seemed like that they had gotten a raw deal. I don't know the details of the case enough to say whether or not they got a raw deal. That wasn't the energy I was ever taking from it, nor was most of the press on either side of the aisle, I might add. Like, these were white collar criminals that were serving some white collar jail time. But they get out of jail. Instead of needing to be fixed, he waits a day or two, but they posting just headless pictures of him on his daughter's Instagram page.
Because his face is probably a Picasso.
Well, I think he needed it to be zhuzhed, right?
His fillers were probably like doing backflips on his face. Do you know what I mean? Like, I would pay every dollar I have to see a picture of what he looked like when he stepped out of that prison. Because I'm sure it was like Catwoman was not even what, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, it was Jocelyn Wildenstein's ghost wishes that she looked this crazy.
Right. I'm laughing with one eyebrow raised because I not a half hour ago asked you to delay this taping by 5 minutes because my plexiderm hadn't stiffened yet.
Dominick.
I'm on Todd Chrisley's side. I would need a round of shots before I saw the press after 2 years, please.
No, but Dominick, no. I would do a citizen's arrest on you if you were 1/16th away from how fucking insane his face looks. A citizen's arrest. Do you hear me?
I hear you. But listen, he holds a press conference and he's immediately does maybe the smartest thing I have ever seen a celebrity do when you know they're only going to be getting negative attention for something. His entire platform is witnessing racial injustice in the justice system because one of his grandchildren is Black, from what I understand. That's now his new crusade.
I'll be waiting.
Life.
I'll be waiting to see what he does with that. With bated breath. You fail to mention that the first thing that he did when he had like a bag over his head on Instagram was he was already in a Nordstrom shopping.
Well, I'm sure.
And he said, I haven't even been out of jail for a day and I'm already shopping, which is what got them in this problem in the first place. So I'm waiting to see what kind of racial injustice reform policies he's going to raise to his friend.
He has a lot of people. Like, I watched that press conference on the Shade Room, which is geared toward a Black audience. And there are many Black followers of that podcast begging the Shade Room, why are we covering this? This is not news for our community. He's being exploited, blah, blah, blah. So we'll see how it goes.
I can't wait for them. Oh, God, what dumb interview are they going to do once they're like a month out?
If they even do it, I think they'll just go right into series. They're probably already shooting it, and they were probably already set up months before he was going to leave prison for this eventuality.
But like, does anyone even care about them? That's the thing. Like, was that show ever that popular? I don't feel that it was.
I think that it was one of those shows
I knew
that
about it, but like that
watch.
was like,
well, we didn't watch it, but I feel like it did have an audience. Yeah,
sure. I don't know.
Big enough that we fixed them, or we tried to fix them last year.
I mean, sure. No, you're right. You're right.
Let's talk about two clowns in the car that are with him. The first is this daughter, Savannah Chrisley. Never again do I want to see this individual. Never.
No, never one time.
This individual, the letter P in privilege, the hole in that letter P should be redesignated by the government to have Savannah Chrisley's fucking face in it. This one posts a picture of her and her father 2 days after he gets out of prison and writes, to the paparazzi following us, looking to pay your bills, here's your photo with an emoji where you're slapping your hand to your face. Like, what the fuck? Ma'am, you have spent the past 2 years talking about your dad every day on the internet, and the past week taking us through the journey to him getting out of
the woe is me of the world, like of the century. With her pink monogrammed outfits, with her like pink MAGA hat, and then her name on the thing. Like, give me 17 billion breaks with this fucking piece of shit.
Speaking of 17 billion,
I hate her.
She's the worst. She's the absolute worst. And I will tell you,
she's Adrian Brody disease. I never want to see her again. Remember when we said that after the Oscars? Like, I never want to see him one more time on my screen.
Horrific individual. Never want to see her again.
At least the paparazzi pay their motherfucking bills, you dumb bitch.
Which, by the way, is, I was just about to say, speaking of 17 million, the amount of times people on Instagram said that exact line to her responding to this, go to the photo. It's amazing. It's like, pay your bills. Tell your dad to pay his bills. Tell Julie to pay her. Like, it was.
Yeah.
She blew it for him.
They're menaces. Yeah. They are menaces.
For sure. They're a tornado. If I'm him.
And then they get ready. No, you get ready. They are going to be the most victimized people ever in the world. Get ready.
If I'm him, I'm looking at Savannah when I get out of jail and I'm going, thanks, baby girl. Now shut the fuck up for like a year. Yeah. You're welcome that I went to jail and you got to take over. Absolutely doing the opposite energy of what I did in that press conference. But go ahead and think you know better. I don't want to see Savannah Chrisley ever again.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean I want her to die. It just means I want her to leave the room. Speaking of being assaulted by the internet, you want to know who's pissed about Todd Chrisley getting out of jail?
Who? Oh, yes.
Joe Exotic.
Joe Exotic.
I can't.
Well, that's the thing. This is the thing that's so fucking funny is that it's like our president is a fucking reality star. So all these people that would be, in theory, Joe Exotic would have been on The Celebrity Apprentice. So he's like, what about me? What about me? And it's like, just because you're like technically a pop culture celebrity doesn't mean that like you're going to get the same treatment as these people.
Do you think Jen Shaw is now calling the White House?
She's shaking Elizabeth Holmes in her cell being like, wake up, Lizzie. Like, it's like Jen Shaw is the New York like meme, the meme of New York sitting in that bed, like something to happen. That's Jen Shaw right now.
By the way, speaking of Elizabeth Holmes, because I know you love her, Family Guy just a few weeks ago did a parody of the miniseries about Elizabeth Holmes.
Yeah.
You please watch it.
Okay.
It's just utterly fantastic. It's only one segment long. They did a segment of Only Murders in the Building, a segment of that, and then a segment of The Bear. And they're all like absolutely hilarious, including a 5-minute discussion of what is the bear? What are we doing here? Please explain what the bear is.
Please. I would love to know the answer to that question.
Yeah, it's really
I'm
great.
like, what is this show? Yeah. Like, anyway.
Okay, something that will bring joy. I have to go very far down the list this week. Mike White, the creator of White Lotus, is going to be on the 50th season of Survivor. as a contestant. Now, I only found out recently that he had been on it before.
I think he was in an All-Stars, but I don't remember. I haven't watched in a while.
And now he's going to be on this banner season.
Well, this 50th season is supposed to be like it's like going to be big. Because like the 40th season was all the winners, which was a really good season. You know what I mean? It was like all the winners coming back. And it was like it was very finite. It was very like, is the show over? Like kind of a thing. Because it was called Winners at War. And it was all the winners like coming back. Everyone that had been there had won.
50
And so that was huge. So now this 50th season is now going to be like, after the Winners at War, they kind of like just kept going with new people. So I kind of felt like, they closed the door on like the last 40 years. Now they're going to go forward. But I like that this 50th season is going to be all kinds of different people from all the different seasons.
I feel like Mike White he's like Ryan Murphy in that he's part of the fabric. Now, Mike White was also an actor before he became like this pretty famous producer director of White Lotus. But I feel like people will be much more interested now. Like I got alerts from all the rags when it was announced that he was in it. And that didn't happen the first 2 times he was on it. So that's like a big news for them. Because
he also wasn't, White Lotus didn't exist yet whenever. He was like the guy that did School of Rock before.
Got it.
You know what I mean? And so they were like, he was like, are they going to notice me from being in School of Rock? Which like wasn't that long ago. But now it's like, he's like a humongous celebrity.
I love that.
So
yeah, that's really something. Okay, I don't know if this is a pride story or not, but we need to talk about JoJo Siwa looking at Anne Heche and saying, hold my beer.
It's definitely not a pride story.
This is not, she is not. Her boyfriend is posting pictures of them in bed together now. And JoJo finally says, our relationship is actually not platonic. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, there are people listening or people in conversation will be like, sexuality, gender, everything is fluid. She's very young. Let her live. Sure. There are many podcasts you can listen to for that argument.
Just like if you're going to be with someone and we see you holding hands with them in paparazzi photos, like you're with them.
Well,
like we
the
know
reason we talk about it.
So just say you're dating them.
Yeah. The reason we talk about it is you don't owe us anything. But sometimes when you shove something down someone's throat, it's expected you'll have an explanation. Like a year ago, when you say you're inventing a genre of music called gay pop, one might raise an eyebrow about you being in bed with a man. I don't know that we need a whole explanation, but, people asking questions I don't think is unusual.
Bisexuality exists.
Sure does.
Also.
It sure does.
Well, here's the other thing.
By the way, if she comes out with something called BiPop, I will jump out a window. I will jump out the highest window.
Okay, this isn't going to be, oh boy.
We're going to have to fix you next week. Go for it.
Okay, there's a thing that I've noticed. And you can't be mad at me for saying this, and it's not about you.
Okay,
but
so now I already know it is directly about me, and you're changing the names.
No. When someone comes out later in life, or what they seem as later in life, I was like a 13-year-old kid that was so fucking clearly gay. It's not even funny. And everyone knew. And it was what it was. And no one was shocked whenever I was like, I'm a homosexual.
Right.
So I've just lived with that my whole life versus people where they have come out and it's been a shock. And they've again, been married to a woman or been in a long-term relationship with a woman. Or it's and again, your parents sat you down multiple times being you're gay. And you were like, no, I'm not.
Oh, yeah. To be clear, I came out 30 years ago and I was married to a woman, but it was absolutely not a shock to anyone. Proceed. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. But they make being gay so much a part of their personality. And I feel like she is one of those people wearing a pride flag on all of her clothing and doing. And again, I'm not knocking that. I'm just simply giving an observation.
Yeah. No, it becomes their whole personality.
I'm not saying that's wrong. Sure. I'm just saying that that's something that she would do. That's a big part of her thing that I feel that I've never had to really do because I've basically worn a pride flag on my forehead the whole time.
I didn't know that. So you never came out.
No, I did, but it was everyone was okay. Yeah.
No, that's interesting.
Everyone was but so.
It's also funny that you consider, because you were so young when people knew you were gay, that you would consider 19 coming out later in life.
I know. She's a bad example of this.
That's your perspective.
She's a bad example of this. But when you're there and you're I have to really perform my sexuality a lot. And again, maybe this is maybe I'm a homophobe. Okay. Maybe you're all going to write to me and say, this definitely isn't a pride story. But
attack Chris this week. I've had enough of you people.
Attack me.
Honestly.
That's fine. But she's so in it and she's so I mean, did I put a story of Britney Spears talking and say gay rights on my story yesterday? Yes, I sure did. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm doing the same thing, but like it becomes such a big part of your personality. And now she's fucked because she's like, oh.
She branded, but she also,
like she branded herself
right.
being queer. And now she's like, oh, I'm like into a guy who's like really straight. And it's like very non-queer, which again is fine. And I'm not saying this is wrong, but it's like she's in a quagmire now because she was like gay rights and like blah, blah, blah. But now she's kind of like in a very heteronormative relationship from the outside.
Well, because she's gay, it would actually be a fagmire, which is also what my friend Tiffany calls me.
You are a fagmire.
She calls me fagmire. When I'm on the phone with her, we go giggity, giggity. That's our like code.
Giggity. Goodbye. Good. I actually have to leave. Goodbye.
But what we're watching happen with JoJo Siwa, I'm being completely sincere about this, is a journey for, and this is not an exaggeration, millions of people who are experimenting with who they are. And like you said, when people are coming out, some people do have a tendency, as I did when I finally came out. I was 25 and I went a whole hog. It was like, hi, I'm gay. And I was called 411 and said, where can I get leather chaps? It was that severe of a turnaround from one to the other. Other people do their best to just quote unquote act normal or however they were before to sort of defy the odds. Because a lot of people don't want to come out because they're afraid of being associated with the flamboyance of gay men or the butchness of some gay women. And they do everything they can to just stay in their lane. She didn't do that. She did what I did, which was just like burn everything down in front of her with a gay flamethrower. But I just kept moving forward, scorching her.
I know what you mean. But now here we are because we've been on this roller coaster with you. It's giving a little bit of J-Lo, and J-Lo was like, we're so in love, it's not even funny. And we're like, no, you're not. And she's like, yes, we are. And then she's like, oh, my marriage is burning down around me. I'm just in Italy by myself. Like, what? Yep. It's fine. Like, you know what I mean? It's a lot of that. And guess what? Like, women do this all the time.
Sure. Men do too. They just can't talk about it.
So many queer women that I know do this all the time. And it's like, whatever. And also, she's been a child star her whole fucking life. She's never going to be normal. I feel bad. She's clearly I feel bad for her.
I do that she's had to go through it. And sincerely, we want to say congratulations on whatever your journey is. If you've found love with someone, great. Go back to girls if you want, or fuck every guy that crosses your path.
Whatever. What does it matter?
But my advice to you, JoJo, maybe just don't. I know you're pressured into labeling it, and that's our fault, meaning society and pop culture blogs,
and ours and mine.
Yeah, us personally, we're causing this torment. But just do you. That's all. And by the way, it's not just women that this happens to. There's a lot of queer men who will never identify as queer because they think that experimenting with a man makes them false in the eyes of God and all sorts of other nonsense. But it doesn't just, if you're a straight quote unquote man listening who's experimented, we see you. We know you. We know you exist.
You'll be okay.
Me specifically, because I'm the one sleeping with all of you before you go back to your
wife. Yeah, you're like, call me up right now.
Don't come in and tell me you didn't know the Duplex was a gay bar, Sam.
Yeah.
All right. So,
oops, and then fall onto the bar and order a martini.
My wife's out of town. Yeah, sure she is. Speaking of angry wives, we need to talk about Hugh Jackman's ex finally speaking up.
Speaking of queer, this is a queer story. This is a pride story.
Deborah Lee Furness, formerly Deborah Lee Jackman, speaks out on the traumatic betrayal after filing for divorce from Hugh. She just says to the Daily Mail, in a statement to the Daily Mail, I mean, when you're trying to burn someone's britches, the Daily Mail is where you go. Like, you pick the cheapest fucking paper to give your statement to. She says, quote, my heart and compassion goes out to everyone who has traversed the traumatic journey of betrayal. No comment from Hugh and Sutton so far. And from what I last heard on the interwebs, they have both been asked pretty directly, what do you have to say about everything that Deborah said? And it's a no comment across the board. Deborah goes on to say, it's a profound wound that cuts deep. However, I believe in a higher power and that God, or whatever you relate to as your guidance, is always working for us. This woman was in pain. Let me just finish this.
But like, what?
My belief in God has helped me to navigate the breakdown of an almost 3-decade marriage. I have gained knowledge and wisdom through this experience. He fucked her over. He cheated on her with Sutton Foster. I don't know how he can get around that. He just did. It happens. People
No,
cheat.
sure. Yeah.
People cheat. They're cheated on.
Sure.
It's part of our lives.
It is what it is. Like it's
the pain of watching him. Yeah.
Guys.
Well, we said, didn't we even say on this podcast a couple of weeks ago,
guys,
she moved in?
But like,
what? Or you're still sticking with
this is not the first
gay.
transgression that he has had against her. Maybe with a woman, but like,
let me ask you this question, Chris. Have you slept with Hugh Jackman?
No. Sadly, no. I wish I could say yes.
Oh, you and our friend Tom Chacho would Eiffel Tower Wolverine at the first moment. You'd betray your whole families and give up your life savings.
I mean, my joke, which is like horrifying to think about now, is like, I said I would have sex with him in front of my family, which is disgusting.
And he said, you know what? I think I'm just going to go with Thoroughly Modern Millie instead, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Instead of your family. Yeah. Hugh, can't wait to see how this turns out. Can't wait for that interview. I wish.
Why is this happening now is my question.
Because I believe Sutton and Hugh just moved in together. And I think people are probably looking to Deborah for a statement. And she's like, I got to fucking say something. I can't take it anymore.
Did he file for divorce? Is that what it was too? I feel like that was what.
I don't know. I feel like they're in the
It was like an official filing so she could finally be like.
Maybe.
Oh, brother.
Shiloh Jolie, who had already dropped Pitt from her name, is now, she's got an entertainment job now, and she has changed her name again to Shy Jolie. SHI space JOLI. That is how she is credited as a choreographer for an original dance number at a Net-a-Porter event this past Thursday. She's just Shy Jolie. To which I say, you guys don't like your dad? We get it.
They can do whatever they want.
We get it. Brad Pitt's non-response is to talk about in an interview that David Fincher is, which I did not know, there is a sequel coming out to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which I feel like you didn't like.
For
that.
What?
I
hated that
you
movie.
just confirmed that you didn't like it. A script has been written by Quentin Tarantino, but he's not directing it. David Fincher, who is one of the greats, will be directing it. And it is centered around Brad Pitt's character, for which he won an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor.
Brother.
Well, I'll let you know how it is. I did love the movie. I will go see it. Not to bury the lead of any Broadway news this week with the Tonys and Patty and Audra, but Lea Michele is coming back to Broadway, baby.
Oh my God. Hassan showed me this last
night.
Look at Lea Michele.
In the revival of Chess, she'll be there with Aaron Tveit, who's a Tony winner, Nicholas Christopher. I have never seen Chess. I've listened to the score thousands of times, and very good friends of mine and I are going to go see the revival in the fall, and it's their favorite musical ever. So excited about Chess, and honestly excited about Lea. Excited to see this as her next step, because sort of being in Funny Girl and dominating it, and even though she didn't open in the role, was what got her back in everyone's good graces after years of bad press. And she got married, she had a kid. Now she is moving on.
And she's been, wherever she was singing somewhere, she's been singing songs that how Rachel Berry would sing them if Glee was on today. She sang Pink Pony Club or Good Luck Babe or one of Chapel's songs. And she was singing it
on purpose
as Rachel, on purpose to be if Rachel, she says, if Rachel was they were what songs would Glee? That. It was some concert or something. I don't know what it was. But I saw the clip and it was someone being what would Rachel sing if Glee was still happening today? And she was oh, Chapel Roan 100%.
I love that.
And so she started singing and she sounded, obviously she's an incredible singer. So she sounded great.
I absolutely love that. We're going to close today, the prefix, with a story that's going to drive Chris up the wall. But first, let me tell you what's coming up on the a la carte. There are so many fun things coming up, that entertainment projects coming out. Gaga's going to be a guest on season 2 of Wednesday. Knives Out 3. Jacob Elordi as Frankenstein. Did you see the trailer for this? For Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein?
No.
It looks insane. The Stranger Things 3-part finale has been announced. It's going to be out, I think, Thanksgiving week, and then right before Christmas, and then New Year's Eve. It's coming out in those 3 clumps. I believe the children from that show, I believe in the finale, are applying for Medicare. I mean, how long has the show? Are we serious?
Also, it's the day after Thanksgiving. It's so blatantly watch it with your family, but it's
100%.
Has everyone watched this show with their family?
I don't know.
The day after Thanksgiving, Christmas Day, and then New Year's Eve. I'm huh? Like, don't do this to it. Like, I'm so over them.
Hacks has been renewed for season 5. Julia Garner is going to be in a new Netflix movie about a crypto CEO. I'm still waiting I want her to do the Madonna thing, but right now she's going to be in this crypto picture. But we'll talk about all of that. Demi Lovato got married. Eddie Murphy's son married Martin Lawrence's daughter. Broadway's highest grossing season ever, and everyone's acting surprised, even though it cost $1,000 to go see Othello and Good Night and Good Luck. Of course, it's the highest grossing season.
And speaking of Broadway.
Oh, that's right.
If you're listening to this on Wednesday morning, tonight, Dominick and I are going to be sitting in the theater watching Sarah Snook do The Picture of Dorian Gray.
We're so excited. We can't wait.
I cannot wait. I'm jazzed.
Mark and I also bought tickets to Call Me Izzy. We're not going to see it till August, but we're starring Jean Smart. I can't wait.
She's incredible.
Yeah,
she's incredible. I think about it. Like, I think about some of the scenes once a day.
That was when you said that one line to me. That was why we finally bought the tickets, because we were going back and forth. I was like, let me just ask Chris. And when you said you can't stop thinking about it, I was like, fuck.
She's just so fucking good in it. And it's almost like the performance is so good because she was just so natural.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just like, oh, like, and it's just kind of like there,
mm-hmm.
but it's like, oh, because this person has transformed into this person. Like, she's not covered in blood at the end of it. Do you know what I mean? It's
right.
like, but it's like a thing where you're like, oh, this person did such a good job because they're just such a good actor. And they almost like aren't that, it wasn't even that crazy because they didn't need to be crazy because they're such a good actor.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I'm excited to see her. We bought tickets to the last show. It's a matinee on August 17th. So it's the last.
Oh, you're going to be done for. Oh my God. I'm sure that's going to be some crazy shit's going to be going down.
Maybe she'll do the show in the nude or something. Or maybe Hannah Einbinder will be there or something. Who knows? But the other big show, before I give this last story that's going to knock Chris off of his chair, he already knows about it. We'll be leading the a la carte today with this sentence. Dolly Parton snubs Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Schmuckers. You have to go to the a la carte.
I don't think I knew anything about this. So
it's a new one. Can't tell you. Gotta go
and also, if today's Wednesday morning, the Wicked trailer's out and I'm not okay. Like, don't text me like I'm not
Tuesday
okay
right now.
I know I'm not okay right now. Wednesday. Prepping to go to the thing. I'm crying watching the trailer for the 60 millionth time. Okay. That's all I'm going to say.
You know, we've had a longer prefix than normal because we have a shorter fix this week. We were fixing Lin-Manuel Miranda. And as we said last week, it didn't go quite as planned. So we hope you will enjoy this fix/non-fix/ why were we here this week? But it's still as fun as usual. We think you'll like it.
It's not because of us or the guest. Our guest was incredible. We were great, but it was just a thing where we were like, huh. And then we haven't had one of these in a while. And it got away from us.
Sometimes we have ones where we're like, why are we fixing this person? But we're not actually fixing them.
Here?
We just want better for them. But he didn't fall into either of those categories, it turns out. So we tried to handle it like adults. The nation of Canada is now going to be the recipient of one of the most beloved television shows of all time. I don't know, after 140 years, there's going to be a primetime Canadian edition of The Price is Right, which will be called The Price is Right Tonight. Get ready for the meltdown that's about to happen because it's going to be hosted by Chris's arch nemesis, Howard Howie Mandel. Chris, your reaction.
Goodbye.
Wait, did you just do the scroll up motion on a device that's not?
No, I was waving a fruit fly away from my microphone. But yes, I am scrolling away.
I thought you were goodbying him as like you were doom scrolling him out of your life.
Yes, that is what I was doing, Dominic. I lied before.
So you will not be taking a commuter jet to Toronto with me and Rebecca Bregman to sit in the audience of The Price is Right Tonight, eh?
Oh, I so will, and be like, remember me? And he'll be like, no. And I'll be like,
you guys, we have been having an inordinate amount of fun on our Patreon episodes. We have fun here. We have fun with you. We love you, but we're doing even more lunatic shit on the Patreon. Just, it's not that we're looser, but we just have a little more time on there to shoot the shit. And we're talking to dead people and we're doing astrology things. And we have, by the time our next broadcast airs, something will have dropped on the Patreon. One of our truly, I'm not just saying this because I'm one of the people on it, but it is one of our best conversations and one of our best episodes. Chris is going to tell you what it is because he is the one who booked it and he should be announcing it to the world.
We, on Featuring Famous People, our second episode of that special bonus series, are going to be talking to the one and only Amanda Knox.
Yes, that Amanda Knox.
We read her new book called Free, My Search for Meaning. And we talked to her all about fame and what it was like to become famous and not choose to become famous and being infamous. And we talked about all kinds of things. Eventually, she turned it around on us and was like, what is the ethical way to produce a reality show? We had a really good conversation about that. Like, I was like on cloud 9 afterwards. And truly, I just came down like the other day because it was so fucking good. It's major.
So we ran the gamut. Like, we talked about her experience in jail. And like Chris said, we were really focused on what it's like to be a civilian, a mild-mannered civilian, and then all of a sudden become the most famous, reviled, murderous, in quotes, in the world, where you and your family are unable to go anywhere without people knowing who you are.
Much like the Chrisleys.
But a little more of a victim, I'm going to say, than the Chrisleys.
Yeah.
It's a pretty fucking fascinating.
It's incredible. It's a really good. It's like top one of we've ever.
And I know
done,
many
real.
people have opinions about her. Many of you think that you've solved the crime on your own. You saw the Netflix thing that she did years ago. Please listen to this because it's just really good. She's a riveting individual to talk to. I have to 100%. Say that. I really have to say what she's been through is pretty otherworldly.
It's another level. Like that conversation was so great. Last thing, and then we're really going to leave, is that right now on the Patreon, we have one episode of each kind of thing that we serve on the Patreon available to the public. You don't have to sign up as a free member. You don't have to be, I don't even think signed up for Patreon, I don't think. But like if you go to patreon.com/fixingfamouspeople and click on the collection that says free episodes, there is one a la carte. Now, some of these are outdated, so it's not going to be, the things that Dominick just plugged, but you have an example of the a la carte. You have an example of the bonus episodes. You have an example of the cutting room floor episodes. You have an example of the all-tier advice episodes. You have an example of the fixing dead people episodes. If you want to hear about what Whitney Houston has to say beyond the veil, go and you can listen to it right now for free. There's an example of the astrology episodes. There's an example of the Unfixables and Invincibles episodes. Every single thing that you can get on our Patreon and pay money for, there's a version of it right now that is for free that you can listen to see if you would even like to sign up for it. And I promise you
will.
If you listen, you're going to want to sign up. So
I second
patreon.com/fixingfamouspeople. You can listen to one version of every single thing that we offer for free. You don't even have to sign up to become a free member. What else are you waiting for?
It's pride. We are a small gay-owned business. It is the ethically responsible thing to do is to go to the Patreon. And also, the summer's coming, the beach, the pool, the barbecues. What are you going to do? Just listen to your Aunt Rose whine on about the hamburgers being too well done again? No, tell her to shut up, put in headphones, and listen to the Fixing Famous People
Also,
Patreon.
we give you advice on how to deal with your family members that you don't like. We have a whole Christmas episode that's about Thanksgiving and Christmas and dealing with your family members that are annoying.
You can listen to it while they're in the room.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
And then take your headphones out and say, fuck off, Aunt Rose.
Point at them and say that they're talking about you. Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Tearing families
What's
apart.
wrong with us?
We're not good people. That's why we have a podcast. Spread that.
Oh, God. Okay.
We love you. We are good people. And we're lucky to have you. Yes. Now let's listen to us try and fail to fix Lin-Manuel Miranda after these vital messages.
Dominick.
Christopher.
We have a new friend, a budding friendship, I would like to think. You all probably know her from her podcast, The List, that just launched only a few weeks ago. It's a very fun, and I usually never listen to just like four friends chatting, and I've listened to every single episode and loved The List so far. I'm hoping to be a guest very soon. It's Maria Randazzo.
Thank you so much. That's such a lovely intro. Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about The List before we do anything else.
Oh, sure. Okay. I would describe The List as The View yassified. It's four friends.
Perfectly said.
4 friends, 4 topics. So when you get together with your friends and you're like, oh my God, I have to tell you this. That's what this is. So we each have a topic each and we kiki about it. We chat about it. We dialogue, debate. It's pop cultural. It's political. It's personal. Nothing is off limits, as they say. Yeah.
Love that.
And it's myself, Takara Elise, Quincy Zari, and Papirosa.
Yeah, and it's very funny. You guys talked about one episode. You guys talked about Divas Live and who you would have on Divas Live now.
Oh, yeah.
Which I feel like is right up Dominick's alley.
Divas Live.
Yeah,
Love
There
that.
should be a Divas Live now. What are we doing?
I know there really should be. There really should be a Divas Live. I feel like we have pitched that before, Dominick, for like random like some singers.
We might have. People just aren't cooperative about that shit anymore. You know what I mean? Like the era of like, not only that, but the generation before where like people would appear on variety shows singing other artists' songs. Like it used to be so much fun. Now everything is like so deal driven and manicured and not fun. Like
now it's just Kelly Clarkson doing it all by herself.
Literally carrying it on her back alone. Yes.
And everyone's like, I love this. And it's like, no shit. Like,
and it's like, can anyone else sing so that they can like, is anyone else good enough of a singer to be able to do this anyway? And it's like, the answer is no.
Like some classic moments from Divas Live. God, we could go on a tangent, but Cher singing with Tina Turner, Aretha over singing to shut up Celine Dion. Like these are all things that were captured on live television that shaped who we are as people.
Truly. There was a Divas Live clip I saw recently and I was like, whoa, I never saw this one. They would pair them up, put them in duos, whatever. Patti LaBelle sang with Jessica Simpson.
What?
How dare? How dare?
Like, Jessica Simpson, you're like, she's such a sweetheart, but the vocal matching no, that's a huge no.
Yeah.
I think that there's got to be footage somewhere of Patti LaBelle storming out of that venue. Because there's no way Patti LaBelle knew who Jessica Simpson was until they took to the stage together. And then when she heard who they paired her up with, I bet she was like, you out of your fucking mind.
Truly.
Oh, God. All
right. Well, speaking of divas, I have no
people
idea.
that can't sing.
Starting
I'm going there. Just you guys wait.
We are here to fix Lin-Manuel Miranda. Now, before we move on to the middle name game, I want to ask Christopher, how are we here? Because this was I'm not backing away from it. I just want to know I don't know how we ended up here with Lin-Manuel Miranda. Are you the one that wants to fix him? Because I am legitimately afraid of whatever his fans are, the ham hocks or the ham hens or whoever they are. I am afraid of them. They're like Gaga level nightmare when it comes to defending him.
I have put him on the list, on our list, LOL.
Right. He's been there forever.
Someone said it at like when I put it up on Instagram. When I saw it, I was like, I've never wanted anything more than this. Because I have a story where I turned on him personally.
Why don't we start with that to set the tone? In case people are like, how the fuck are you doing this to a Pulitzer Prize winning artiste?
First and foremost, whose middle name are we going to guess? Because it's not his.
I'll deal with it in a moment, Christopher.
Okay.
Tell your story.
I remember when Hamilton came on Disney Plus, and I watched the first act of it. And I was like, I'd never seen the whole thing. I'd never seen it on Broadway. And I just never was able to get a ticket and never saw it. I knew some of the songs. I knew it was the biggest, like revolutionized theater and brought everyone back to the theater. I like knew that it was such a great thing. And when I watched it on Disney Plus, again, this is years after it started. It's years after whatever. I watched the performance and I was like, here's like Philippa Sue, like incredible. Here's, what is her name? Renee Elise Goldberry, like incredible. Like here are all these, here's like Leslie Odom Jr. Here's this person, like here's all these people like doing incredible jobs. And I felt, and everyone that was watching it with me were like, Lin-Manuel Miranda is doing like a caricature of a cartoon performance and everyone else is like killing it. And he's truly doing, not to invoke Kanye West, but like poopity scoop, scoopity poop. Like that's what I felt he was doing. And I was like, I honestly don't know if I can watch the other act of this because I'm so infuriated by how annoying he is. And like where I felt that everyone else in the show was like just doing like the performance of a lifetime. And I was like, I cannot believe that he cast himself as the main role in this show. And it turned me off forever. And like, I say this knowing that he is extremely talented and like deserves every award that he's ever gotten. He is not untalented and like is great, but there was something about it that made me, I just got the ick, as the children say, for him. And it never went away.
Yeah, a lot of people feel that way about Seinfeld. On Seinfeld, they're like, you're responsible for all this and it's you and it's great. but you're not a good actor and you're surrounded by good actors.
That's a good comparison.
And keep in mind, you'll be happy to be reminded that Leslie Odom Jr. won the Tony that year and beat Lin-Manuel Miranda. For
Rightfully
Best Leading Actor
so.
and a Tony. Yes.
Yeah.
Lin-Manuel won like several other Tonys, but not for acting,
Sure.
which many feel was deliberate. So we come to the middle name game. His middle name is Manuel. So obviously, when this happens where there's either no middle name, we move on to the next logical choice. So I was going to say, let's guess Alexander Hamilton's middle name. Alexander Hamilton does not have a middle name.
What?
So I'm taking a wide left here and I'm just going to go to another theater icon. And for no reason at all, I'm going to ask the two of you to guess the middle name for someone we will never fix. Broadway legend Harvey Fierstein. What is Harvey Fierstein's middle name? Harvey is 72. He was born June 6th, 1952 in New York, in Bensonhurst, Brooklyn. He is a Gemini. If either one of you guesses this, I will donate my organs to charity today. I will go to Columbia Presbyterian and slice myself open and say, take it.
Like that scene in The Last of Us where the person gets like sliced open and their innards
That
fall
will be
out.
it. Garroting is what it's called. I will garrote myself.
Oh, garroting.
Okay.
No, not garroting. It's not called garroting. Garroting is like a
What is
Benet
it?
Ramsey thing. Well, good morning, everyone. This is what we're talking about. Okay,
Dominic,
what
you're thinking of fraud.
There's a, well, I'm always thinking of frauding, but not in this
What
case.
is frauding?
That's when two men lay naked next to each other and sort of grind their wangs into
Like
each other.
dry hump each other.
It's like dry humping.
Cool.
That's what it is.
Cool.
Okay. The name Welton came to me. Welton.
Wow.
That was my
okay.
intuition. I'm really trying to sharpen my intuition, so I'm going with it. Welton.
All right.
You don't just throw out it. Like it's,
Okay, Moses.
These are both really interesting guesses. And I have
Moses
to
is
say
good.
that
Thank you.
these are in the wheel. You know what? Sorry, I have to stop. Disemboweling. That's the word I was thinking of earlier.
Oh,
Thank you.
right.
Garroting is what happened to Jean-Benet Ramsey. Frauding is how I try to start every day here in the Bronx. Disemboweling is what I would do if either of you guessed it, but you did not, because Harvey Fierstein's middle name is Forbes. Harvey
Oh,
Forbes
that's regal.
Fierstein.
what a
Right?
good middle name.
Yeah.
I think that's going that's on the short list for best middle name.
I
That's
think so
good.
too. Yeah.
Kind of sounds like some young guy lives in Fidei.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Maybe
Harvey
that's who he took it
Forbes.
from. So here we are with Lin-Manuel, who, when I heard everything about Hamilton and I knew that they were doing like some unusual or groundbreaking casting, I didn't know what he looked like. And I thought that Lin-Manuel was a woman. And I thought it was even better. I was like, oh, everyone's a different race and gender. This is really something. And then I saw him and I thought he was handsome. And that was my first impression. I didn't remember who he was from In the Heights, which I did not see on Broadway. I saw clips on the Tonys, but I did see him in Hamilton. And then within 5 minutes of Hamilton, everyone knew who he was.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, where does it start? Is In the Heights where it starts for him?
Let's see.
Think so. I kind of was introduced to In the Heights after it had peaked. I used to live in Chicago and there was like a big Chicago production of it. And I did love it. And the movie is also very good too. Yeah, I think I was also introduced to him via Hamilton. It was like his first big thing, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lin-Manuel Miranda is an American songwriter, actor, singer, filmmaker, rapper, and librettist.
Say
Dominic,
it.
I know you'd like that. Yeah. It started in 2002 where they
Well, I
started
think that's
working
when their
on it.
journey started.
Yes,
Right.
that's
Like, yeah.
crazy
Yeah.
to think about. So they do In the Heights. It's great. It's nominated for 13 Tony Awards. It wins 4 of them, including Best Musical and Best Original Score. It won a Grammy Award. He got a Tony nomination for that. I mean, it is a great musical. The movie was incredible.
It was very good.
And again, I can't stand him, but like he is extremely talented, like in every way.
You just don't
Other-
like him as a performer.
Other
You
than
really don't.
performing. I don't want to see his face on the screen. And In the Heights was so good. And then obviously Hamilton happens. And then from Hamilton, it's a cultural phenomenon. He becomes, a household name, rightfully so. And then he's in Mary Poppins Returns. Like he starts doing acting roles.
After Hamilton, right.
Yeah.
Which is your worst nightmare.
Yes, not into that. And like, I wasn't into it. He was in, funny enough, like a week ago, Hassan and I were like looking on HBO Max at just like random other like series, like as we were watching like The Last of Us or Hacks or something. And it was that His Dark Materials show that is like off of the Golden Compass.
Right.
There was like a series that went for a couple seasons and he's in it. And we like watched the trailer and we're like, oh, should we watch this? Like I liked the Golden Compass. And we pushed play on the trailer. And truly, like the minute he gets on the screen, both of us go, oh, brother, when we see him. Like he kind of elicits that from people.
But by the way, you should know, not only for Hamilton, but also for Mary Poppins Returns, he was nominated for Best Actor in a Motion Picture, Musical, or Comedy Golden Globe for both of those things.
That's
wow.
For Mary Poppins Returns.
I swear to God, he was nominated.
Give me a break. Give me a break.
He was an actor for a long time. He appears in an episode of The Sopranos.
No.
Yes,
what episode?
Yes. I have to look it up really quick, but he will pop up in random television shows.
And he had like an improv like rap group.
Freestyle Love Supreme.
Yeah, I know that too. Oh, wait, he's like a bellhop on The Sopranos. Wait, he's so young and so hot in it. Okay. Wait, that's so funny.
He does look really cute in it. You're right. Yeah.
Because like, he deserves his fame. He annoys me. Like, that's the thing. It's like, I can't be like, and here's why he's a piece of shit. Like, it doesn't exist. Like, he's seemingly a nice person.
I mean, I'm sure he is. I know exactly what you mean, though. It seems I can't really put my finger on it. There's something about, I don't know what turns us off about him. Is it his over enthusiasm?
There's like an earnestness, kind of like a constant earnestness. And he can be super corny, but at the same time, like he's brilliant.
Yeah.
Because like he saved American theater. He's like done more innovation. He's got casts of shows doing that Ham for Ham thing.
Yeah.
In between that, like that's back now. He bought that Playwright bookshop on 42nd Street that was going to close, the Broadway bookshop that would sell all the plays. He bought it.
But what I will say is that like he was in The Heights too, right? Like in the musical.
Oh, yes. I believe he was in the stage version.
Yeah.
But in
he
the
was
movie,
in the Broadway version.
He gave himself a smaller role in the movie because I think he thought he was a little too old to play that lead part that Anthony Ramos played. Side note, in love with Anthony Ramos.
Oh, I would let him beat the shit out of me and nurse me back to health for $1. I would either way. I'd pay him. He'd pay me. However, whatever he wanted.
He's so beautiful.
Yeah, in every way.
Oh,
he then is like co-opted by Disney, and they're like, okay, you're gonna like, hello, here we are, hand in hand. And then he writes all the music for Moana, which was incredible.
Yeah.
Then he writes all the music for Encanto.
Yes.
Which was like another cultural phenomenon. Like it's hit after hit after hit with this guy. You know what I mean? It really is. And like, he's an actor forever. He does that weird improv thing, rap thing that he does. And like and he really does seem like someone who's like has become famous, but isn't a famous person. He's like a real person that like wants to give back and all this stuff. But he just annoys me so much. Like in every way, I just find him so annoying. And I don't even know. I don't know.
Is the answer to this question that it could be.
We're haters?
That we're just horrible people.
Yeah, that's been the answer for this podcast since the inception of it. Has it not been?
You're keying into like an earnestness, a corniness. There's no edge to Lin-Manuel Miranda. There's no, you know what I mean? There's not really a cool, there's not an edge, there's not a cool. And I'm not saying I in any way have his songwriting or music creative, but like we are cut from the same cloth, essentially. Like I'm an improv girly. I grew up doing musical theater, and like that's why the football players like walked right by me in high school. Like I give off like, okay,
like theater girl. Yeah.
Oh my God. Like, so hopefully I've kind of chilled out a little bit. I've come off of that a little bit.
And the thing is, apparently Gen Z doesn't like Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Oh yeah, because Gen Z, that makes total sense. That is math.
Why don't they?
They're a generation that like charisma is like not cool. And like charisma, like very outgoing, I feel like doing the most type energy, which is Lin-Manuel Miranda. Like he is always at a 10. If he's not rapping, he's singing. If he's not singing, he's dancing. If he's dancing, he's writing incredible scores.
He's
like
poopity scooping. Yeah, he's like doing it all.
What would a person do if that's your dad? I'd look at him as a kid and be like, I need you to calm down right now for 5 minutes. Like, you are all up in it all the time. Whirling dervish, that guy.
I know.
If that was my dad, I'd be like, thank you so much for all of the money.
Yeah, like, thank you for bankrolling my life and me never having to work ever again. Well, Rolling Stone magazine says there's a very specific reason 17-year-old girls with green hair and ironic wallet chains are roasting Miranda. And while it doesn't stem from overt antipathy, it's an extension of the general cultural divide between millennials and Gen Z, as well as growing opposition to the politics represented in Hamilton. This is from August 4th, 2020. And it's titled, Why Gen Z Turned on Lin-Manuel Miranda.
That's so funny.
Where is the problem with him is like, he's not that famous anymore, but he's not doing roles. Like, he's now a thing that's like from the mind of Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Yeah, I think that he's like our generation's, he's like the closest thing we'll have to Stephen Sondheim.
Yeah.
So I feel as far as like mastery of craft and composition and writing, like he's right there. But as far as like stardom and performance, you're right. He's definitely not Mary Poppins level.
And usually that's what we're like trying to fix, is like, we're fixing like, oh, you're like not an A-list celebrity anymore and we want you to be one. And so, but this is the thing. I'm very conflicted about this because I don't want him to be an A-list celebrity because he annoys me. What are we going to do, guys?
Well, it sounds like this is a very special episode because I think the people that need to be fixed are us and our attitudes, probably.
Yeah, that is true.
I mean, he is literally like, he is the Sondheim heir apparent. He even worked like for the West Side Story revival. He was working with Sondheim to translate some Spanish language lyrics into English. Like, they partnered together before.
Yeah. I think Sondheim like mentored him.
Yeah. And I think if we're shitting on Lin-Manuel, you know, if we're going to shit on him personally because we're assholes, we will stick with that. We're not shitting on him professionally, though, right? And except as an actor, though. Except as an actor.
Yeah. Didn't love it. I don't know what to say. Did anyone else feel that way whenever they watched Hamilton, like on Disney Plus?
Well, yeah. I mean, I get what you're saying. Like, vocally, he is not in the caliber of Leslie Odom and Renee Louise Goldsberry. Like
Daveed Diggs, like
no. Yeah.
Again, like all these people stars. Like, you know what I mean? Like everyone else in the musical stars.
Right. So I think what you're saying is your issue with him is that he puts himself in starring roles. And I think that imbalance in terms of like vocal quality and what you're looking for from an actor just isn't there.
Yeah, that is true. And then the fact that they gave him a Golden Globe nomination for Mary Poppins Returns. This is a hard one. Because he's done usually this part is like, and then they did this annoying thing, and then they did this annoying thing, and he kind of really has. The worst thing he's done is do that one selfie where he's like biting his lip, and everyone makes fun of him for that. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't know it. No.
He has this like selfie picture where he like is biting his lip, and it's like everyone's like, stop. It's the same thing as like all the weird shit he does that Gen Z is like, you're cringy. Is he like takes random pictures of himself, and he's so like, are you seeing it? Are you seeing it?
This is, I mean, here's the thing. He is a classic musical theater guy.
Yes.
He is not a dime a dozen with his brilliance in writing and creating music and stories, but he is a dime a dozen when it comes to a lot of straight dudes who are doing musical theater.
Yeah, sure.
Like being backstage like,
like you know, like it's like
yeah.
But then that's the thing is like, is the fix that he just doesn't ever, because I feel like he got the note that like no one wants to see you act anymore. Just like write music and like write.
I mean, here's the thing. He's not like always my cup of tea, but I think he's handsome enough that I would pay $11.99 to look at his dick one time. It would probably be an OnlyFans where like I subscribe, I look at the top 3 and then I immediately click auto renew. I'm like, I'm not doing this past 4 weeks. I'm not even 4 minutes. So he could do that. I'm trying to think of what else. I mean, this is a lot of people suggested we fix him. Like when I talked about the list with people, a lot of people, but no one was truly able to articulate why. They're sort of having the same issue that we are having.
Yeah.
It's like, do we need to fix him, or is this, can you imagine if we both forfeit at the end of the broadcast and say, we made a mistake, we just don't want you to bother us anymore. You can keep doing what you're doing.
I know like where I want him to go, but like it's not crazy is the thing. Okay, what else do we have to say about him that like because usually there's like everyone has like all these scandals. And
Sure.
like, he doesn't have any. That's the thing. He's like squeaky clean. No one is coming forward being like, being in Hamilton was terrible and they didn't pay us anything and like blah, blah, blah. Like there's usually like someone disgruntled from someone like this. There's usually someone that's like, I really didn't want to do blank, or, he stole the music from me and he said it was his. And there's always some like murky shit going on. But it seems that he really just worked really hard and did really well.
Maybe he needs to run for office and be our first singing and rapping president.
Running for office isn't a terrible idea.
All of his debates, he has to rap, and it's actually like amazing.
And he's like, poopity scoop on it. And he's like, I can't stop saying poopity scoop.
I just Googled Lin-Manuel Miranda naked, and what pops up is, I guess he appeared on James Corden's show when they used to do musicals in the street in LA.
Huh?
And whatever they're doing, maybe it's Hair is the musical they're doing, but they are in the street naked. Well, it's supposed to be. It's blurred. They're wearing like flesh-colored panties.
Sure. Oh, God. James Corden. Oof. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't.
Have you guys done him?
Yeah. Oh, a long time ago.
Okay.
Yeah. A long time ago.
Yeah.
Whenever he went to Balthazar and like got in a fight with that waiter.
Yeah.
I mean, what else do we say other than do we do some fixes? There's something that annoys me about him, but it's like unfounded and wrong. And yet it exists,
Does he always have a goatee? Because my personal fix would be, let's get rid of that.
That's a pretty good fix. I'm not going to lie. The goatee is giving drama teacher in the worst way possible.
It's giving so much that I'm like, it's really distracting in the worst way.
The worst possible way.
I think we thought he looked hot in that Sopranos episode.
Because he did.
Because I don't think he had the goatee.
I think you're right. Ugh.
What is the commitment to the goatee? We have got to know.
But again, that is like theater teacher being like, I could be like playing like Zorro on Broadway at any moment. Do you know what I mean? Like he needs to be able to like spring into action and be like the main guy in Kiss Me Kate. Do you know what I mean? Like if he needs,
right.
Like, I come to wive it wealthily in Padua. Like he needs to be able to sing that at any moment if he needs to.
That literally happened when I was in high school. We did a production of Jesus Christ Superstar. There was a last minute emergency where the lead playing Judas had to bow out. And instead of doing the smart thing, which would be to cast understudies, our drama teacher, fully grown adult man, probably in his 40s, jumped into the show and fully did the musical with a bunch of teenagers.
Yeah, because that was the whole point that was the plan from the very fucking beginning,
Exactly.
by the way.
Right.
He pulled a showgirls and probably threw marbles on the floor so the guy slipped, didn't he?
There was
it a
some
broken back that made
undisclosed
him-
scandal. Yeah.
Where he like basically said, listen, you little bitch. Like if you don't back the fuck out of this, like it's literally Mr. G on Summer Heights High when he has to like be the girl in that. Okay. I know what my pitch is. Dominic, do you know what yours is?
Just about. I just want to give everyone an update too. Not that I'm not paying attention, but my text is still going on with the gentleman who still thinks he has pink eye. And I'm asking him how he knows he has pink eye because he's obviously not at an urgent care. And he said, well, the gunk in my eye and the fact that it's swollen. It's gross.
No.
It's my own fault. I got
Dominic.
something in my eye and I kept touching it. Like, well, then this isn't a conversation.
What is he going to do? Come over and secrete that all over your sheets?
Yeah,
no, thank
it's
you.
really
well, now that
contagious.
you've said that, I'll never have sex again. The word secrete?
Just
No.
saying. Just saying.
All right. So, Chris, we're sort of tentatively at the arena. I feel like we weren't dropped off here by an Escalade Uber.
We were not.
We definitely took the subway here for sure. It's not fancy. No, we took the subway. We got on the wrong one. We got on the
We had
express
to turn
instead of
around.
the local.
We had to get off. We had to go uptown.
We had to get off at 125th and get on the downtown to come back. And now here we are. And this is tough. This is a shorter fix than we normally do because, and look, we will always admit making a mistake. Have we made a mistake having Lin-Manuel Miranda as the subject of this podcast?
I don't want to say it was a mistake because like my contempt is real, but is that just because it's because of me? But what I will say is even just Googling him, Googling him to like look for other things that were like happening in his life, like you do forget how many amazing things he's done.
Mhm.
And so I feel like my pitch is for him to write a memoir. Because I feel like hearing him being an actor on The Sopranos, like I want to hear about that. Like him popping up as an extra in like a show, and then he's like an actor and he's going to his little improv troupe and then doing this and doing that. Like I actually want to hear all those stories, and I actually think they'd be really good stories. And like learning about his process and learning about how he does the things that he does, I actually think would be very interesting. And I feel like a lot of people, like I feel like it would be like a humongous bestseller if he would write a memoir right now. There's no circus pitch possible for him. It's so weird. And he's almost like, he's very like neutered in a way. Like you're saying like OnlyFans as a joke, but like I don't think of him like that at all.
He's asexual to you.
Just like it's just not there. It's just like not there. But I think a memoir, hearing him like being on the set with James Gandolfini and like what happened or like whatever scene he was in, if it was like him and Pussy and like what's his name? What's
Silvio.
Yeah, Silvio. Yeah. You know what I mean? And like if that's what it is, then it is. But like I want to hear that. Like that to me is interesting. And like everyone, and especially every improv guy would be buying that book. Because he kind of is like a cheesy, corny, like kids person now because he does all the Disney movies. How do we put some respect on his name?
Oh, see, I think musical theater people will be buying that book for sure, but not improv guys.
And burning this podcast, by the way.
Yeah, of course. Honestly, as they should. I was like the thing that like revolutionized theater in the modern day, didn't love it.
So Maria said something interesting. Oh, but is that your pitch?
Yeah, that's my pitch.
So I've sort of changed what my goals are because when Maria talked about him being neutered and not having an edge, maybe that's the solve. Maybe that's how we're going to like him, is if we give him a little bit of an edge. And I'm trying to think who else. I don't know that he can do this alone. So who else for me is like a neutered person who gets on my nerves with their constant sunny outlook? I'm risking turning many people who listen to this podcast against me, but Jonathan Groff falls into that for me.
Oh,
now,
really?
Let me qualify this. I did not see Spring Awakening. Okay. I have seen him in other things and he is incredibly talented. Looking on HBO, one of my favorite television shows of all time. He's the hero of the show. I couldn't stand him in the show. I loved the show. Is he playing a character? Is he mostly Jonathan Groff? I don't know. I don't care. He's always someone who I need to see bunged up. So the only thing I can think of is to throw both of these queens into like a remake of My Own Private Idaho, or what's something, I don't know. No, I was going to say Brokeback Mountain, but I don't need that.
Oh, God, no.
What can we put them in as sort of a duo? Like what? I've got it. We're going to remake the only rated X movie to ever win Best Picture, Midnight Cowboy, starring Jon Voight and Dustin Hoffman. In those roles, Jonathan Groff and Lin-Manuel Miranda. I'm walking here. That's the line. That's it. That's my fix. We reboot Midnight Cowboy with these two neutered, cheerful people who, for no reason other than we are bitter, hateful twats, they get on our nerves, put them in this movie, and then we're done. Change the entire way the world looks at them. Now, there's a danger here that Lin will try to turn this into a musical, which I will not allow
100%.
if this idea comes to fruition. Although I'm walking here could probably make a good, it would probably be a good hook for something. And that's my pitch. A redo of Midnight Cowboy with Jonathan Groff and Lin-Manuel Miranda. Do you think people are canceling their Patreon subscriptions when they're listening to this episode?
The answer is yes. Maria, you either have to now pick one of the ideas, one of the pitches to be the winner, or you can propose your own pitch, but it has to blow us away. Like we have to be blown away by it.
Oh, okay. That's a lot of pressure.
But you don't have to.
I'm not going to lie. I think Maria suggesting that he shave his goatee is actually a better idea than what both of us have pitched. So there is a chance that you've already won, but give it your best shot, Maria.
I know, shaving the goatee. I'm going to Google Lin-Manuel Miranda without goatee and see if anything even comes up.
Okay. I think shaving the goatee. I also think he needs a low-key scandal. Like no harm has been done to anybody, but I think he needs like a financial scandal or something. Like he needs a little Bruno Mars going on or something. So people can be like, oh, like this guy, he's just like all of us. He does some.
I
get
like
into
a
some
financial
shit.
scandal. I'm not going to lie to you. I like a financial scandal. There's like rights issues with something. Like he's trying to like remember when Taylor was like getting her like the like masters are being like bought out from under her, like something like that where he's like fighting in the press about like rights to like Hamilton.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense?
Like the Hamilton family.
But like the rights to the show or something. Do you know what I mean? Or like the rights to the music or some musical rights are being taken away from him. I think we have to do a vote. I think it needs to be a Patreon vote.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Just because I don't know what. Something's
That's the second
off
time
today.
we've done that recently. I don't know.
I know.
Something is
Okay,
off. I don't know
did
what's
just
off.
think of another.
We're listening.
Do it.
I think
bowl
he
us
should.
over.
Okay, I think he should write a musical for Gen Z, and it's like I don't know. It's like young people wearing jeans that I can't wrap my mind around, but they do look cool.
Yeah.
And they're
And he's
singing.
It's like, look, Gen Z, this is you. And they're like
Yeah.
freaking.
Yeah,
He cannot appear in it.
He's not allowed in it. He's not allowed in it, except he can do one little random thing in it. Like he can play a waiter or something.
Or a bellhop.
Okay, I like that too. That might actually have to, you might have to have 2 entries in the vote, in the poll. Because
Shaving the goatee. Okay.
shaving the goatee slash
Financial
scandal.
Right.
And then Gen Z musical are your 2. And then I think we put it on the Patreon because something's off in the air about him. And maybe it's because he's so revered that our pettiness
That we're afraid. That
is
we're
not,
legitimately afraid.
Yeah.
I'm afraid of the ham hocks. I'm not going to lie.
Is that what they're called or are you calling them that?
No, I'm calling them that. They go out for blood when it comes to this shit.
I think we're going to a Patreon vote. So we're going to announce it next week who wins.
That's exciting.
We're not normally this ham hocked here, but I will say that it's been a delight meeting
He's
you.
a
And I'm
tricky
sorry
one.
that
He's a
he
tricky
is
one.
tricky.
We're going to have to. Well, P.S. Maria was like, can we please do Gwen Stefani? And I was like, we already recorded it. She was like ready to go to Gwen Stefani. I was like, it's too late. I was like, too late.
Love that episode, you guys. It was really
Thank
good.
you.
The
Thank
Gwen
you.
one, thank you. That was a
Yeah.
good one. She's a ton of problems. She's unlike Lin-Manuel Miranda.
She's a ton of problems. And you really hit it at the end when it was like she went from punk, cool, groundbreaking.
Goddess. Yeah.
Yeah, goddess.
Trailblazer.
Yeah, exactly. Female trailblazer to wife.
Some guy's wife.
It broke my heart.
Yeah. No, it's rough.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have to come back and do another one because this was like a misfire. I don't know what it was. All right, everyone go to the Patreon and vote on who you think should win this episode. Maria, where can people find you? Thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. Instagram at Maria freaking Randazzo. Same handle on TikTok. Yeah, my podcast is The List and it's on all podcasting platforms. And I perform sketch and improv all around New York. And I post about my shows on my Insta. So you can come see that if you'd like. So.
Perfect. Dominick, where can people find you?
Well, before I give you that information, I wanted to know that my text conversation with this other paramour is continuing. And so he said he liked my beard. So I snapped a pic just now of us recording the pod and I sent it to him. He responded by saying it was getting him hot and bothered and sent a picture of his dick. But he's still not coming over here because of the pink eye.
Because of his swollen, secreting eye.
He used the word gunk, that's all you need to say to me.
Yes.
That's all you need to say to me. And the answer is no.
Yeah.
This is good
But the
foreplay
dick pic,
though, right?
though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's going to have to wait a week. I mean, I take no chances with pink eye. Absolutely
No.
not.
Why would
No.
you?
No. I got a sty at the beginning of the summer last year. It almost ruined my entire life. I had to call a hotline. I was on the ledge. I'm not even joking.
Hassan has been putting eyeliner on and wrong and not washing his face. And so he's been getting them all the time. And
oh my God.
And
a
he's
sty is the worst
like
thing.
devastated by them all the time.
Why is
Anyway.
the sty so terrible? My website's domentary.com. My Instagram is at Dominick Pupa. My TikTok is at Domentary. And please, while you're on TikTok, go to the Fixing Famous People TikTok page, which is under Fixing Famous People Pod. Christopher, where can the listeners of this podcast find you on the World Wide Web?
You can find me at the Chris DeRosa. You can find the show at Fixing Famous People. You can find the Patreon at patreon.com/Fixing Famous People. You can also find us on YouTube at Fixing Famous People. And we are desperately close to having enough subscribers so that Dominick and I have to do a mukbang video. So Maria, you could tip the balance. you could tip the scale. Make Dominick and I eat on camera and talk about celebrities. I wish you both well. And as always, where's Shelley? Goodbye.